Hello, and welcome to the Ordinary Wisdom podcast. This week we are joined with none other than Camryn Pittman.
Hello.
She is a fellow student here at Anderson University, one of, I will say, both of our close friends, and yeah, we're excited to interview her.
I'm excited to be here.
Great, great. First question.
Okay, we're gonna go first with tell us about your childhood. Where are you from? Um, and tell us about like your siblings, your family, and who you are.
Okay, I grew up in Georgia. I'm the middle child of three. I have an older sister and a younger brother, along with a dog who is very cute, but we'll consider him a biter.
He likes you.
He's a
Yeah,
biter.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love being a middle child. I like having an older sister to look up to and a younger brother to goof around with a lot.
No, yeah, middle kids are the best. Shout out to all the middle kids,
You're a middle kid, right?
me included. hmm Middle kids. No, I feel like that's true though. Like middle kids are the best ones.
Well, okay, I am partial, but I believe oldest children are just the best because they have been through the fire. By the time that the parents get to a middle child, they have a somewhat semblance of what they're doing. My parents did not necessarily know 100% what they were doing with me. So, the oldest children have been put through the fire.
No, the argument is that middle kids are the ones who keep the family together.
The mediators.
They're the mediators.
Okay,
Yeah.
but as a human being, oldest children are better. It's actually statistically proven that oldest children are the most likely to be successful. Youngest children are the most likely to be, I believe, to be entertainers. Oldest children are the most likely to be leaders, and middle children, I think, are actually the most likely to go off the rails and whatnot. So,
We'll contact Mythbusters about that one.
Keep going.
Um, so before I was born, the doctors told my parents I was gonna be a boy, and until the day I was born, my name was gonna be Cole, which is my little brother's name. And it took them a couple days to figure out my name, which is Camryn, and that's when my story began. Um, I promised a friend I would do this. So I was born at a very young age, you know. Grew
Yeah.
up. I really don't have much to say.
she's born at a young age.
I was born at a young age. I was a really quiet kid. I won't say a loner. I just like being by myself and quiet.
Okay. Shout out to all the people. That's a beef that I have with a lot of people. Because y'all will look at people that are by themselves and you'll be like, oh, they're so lonely. They're such a loner. Like, oh my goodness. Maybe we just not the kind of people who like to be around people. Because number one, people can,
Okay, no.
people can be some kind of way. But number two, sometimes we just like being around ourselves. Maybe we're comfortable enough with ourselves to actually sit and with our thoughts. Maybe some of you guys just aren't comfortable enough with yourself. So, shout out to all of the loners out there because, who do you love more than yourself? Besides Jesus and besides, like, well, okay, Jesus, others, and your significant other. Other than that, besides love, you like yourself. So, I'm just saying,
Okay.
it's good to be with yourself.
Anyways, keep going.
Yeah. So, a very quiet kid. I loved hanging out with my family most of all. Entertaining my little brother was a big part of my life, and playing Barbies with my older sister was like a big thing.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of friends growing up, and that's okay. And I feel like after COVID and everything, I really came out of my shell a little bit more, and that was in like the end of middle school, early high school, and that's when I started, being a little bit more bubbly, still very quiet, still very, I don't know, not sheltered, but just, you know, alone in a way. And I like it. It's nice.
Okay, where did you go to school? Were you like homeschooled, public school, private?
I went to public school for kindergarten, and then I've been homeschooled since then. I did a yes, shout out them homeschoolers. And I went and attended a hybrid school where I did dual enrollment for 3 years. And then I graduated.
How was that?
It was good. It was so through this hybrid program I did dual enrollment, so that got me credits for college. It was, I would say it's a big stepping stone into preparing myself for college. It was not easy by any means, but it was a good way for me to get out there and see how the real world and college life is going to be like. So
would you have any like prom or homecoming or anything like that?
So through my hybrid program, I did not have prom, but I did some homeschool groups, and we did like homeschool formals and dances and things like that. So through that, I learned how to swing dance.
Oh.
Yes,
About that.
so I attended a place called CFAF, which is Christian Fine Arts of Forsyth, and I learned how to swing dance, clog, Celtic dance, and I attended their choir. I did their choir. I attended, but yes, fire choir is so fun. You would sing and dance and do very cool tricks.
It's so cool.
So yeah.
Wow.
Is that the only extracurricular that you were doing, or
I-
were there other ones?
I did not. I have grown up dancing my entire life since I
What's
was
your
4.
favorite style of dance?
Favorite style of dance is tap.
Tap. Okay.
Tap.
My sister did tap.
Love tap. Tap's good.
Would you have? I know, because my sister, we used to have like a cork board in the garage. So would you just have like a wooden board or something that you just practice on?
I had a little tap board that I would do. I would practice in our living room with music playing in the background, and we have a lot of funny videos of me tap dancing on our little wooden floorboard. So yes.
What would you say is your favorite thing about dance?
I like self-expression through dance. I felt like it's helped me through a lot of different, like not trials per se, but just different things I've been dealing with, and it's been my outlet for that.
Nice.
Most of all.
That's awesome. Would you say that dance like taught you anything about like life or in general?
100%. It taught me a lot of discipline, putting a lot of time and effort into the work you're doing, and time management, because dance it takes up time.
Yeah.
And it's so fun, but it does teach you how to manage your time well and discipline specifically.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. What is probably like the funniest memory that you have from your childhood?
Thanks to home videos, I know my favorite memory is I was playing with my little brother, and I called myself Chef Marti, and I had the deepest voice. I can't even like pull it out now.
No, what?
I was
You
like,
think you can?
I don't think I can. I was like shocked.
Why not?
And I was serving my brother little food on this plate and just going around, and he was probably 1, maybe 2, and I was 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And it just was so fun because seeing that side of me when I was little, because I knew how shy I was, that was really sweet.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah, that's one of my favorite childhood memories.
And how old was your older sister at the time?
She was probably 5 or 6.
6?
She's not.
6 or 7? No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Tell us about how you learned about Anderson.
I really wanted a Christian college first and foremost, especially in the arts. I wanted to be at a place where we were gonna honor Christ through our works, and specifically in the arts, I really wanted a Christian background. That was really important for me. And then going into my second major, which was I'll talk about more later, it kind of worked out in a way. So
wanting to dance.
And then my eventual second major had so much to do with going to Christian college. So
well, tell us about what your majors are.
I'm majoring in Christian studies and dance. I am.
Yay.
Yes, this was a recent development. 2 months before I graduated, I was going to go into kinesiology.
Wow.
Yes.
Then you were like, nope, switch.
No, yeah. So I decided last minute that I didn't want to do the physical therapy route and wanted to become a professor of Christian studies.
Yeah.
So big switch up.
Yeah.
How are classes going so far for you?
I love classes.
Yeah.
I love it so much here. I like the professors are so knowledgeable in everything they teach,
Yeah.
and it's just so amazing seeing their love for Christ and whatever we do.
Yeah.
I love it. Classes are going great.
Good. Yay. That's good.
How has your transition, I guess, been? Because I know you said that you're being in your previous call in your dual enrollment helped you adjust, but how has the adjustment been so far?
I think it's been really, really smooth.
Mhm.
Obviously, moving away from home has been probably the hardest thing because being homeschooled, you're really close with your family. And I've never lived away from home or been separated for long periods of time. So I think the biggest adjustment wasn't really with schooling, but mostly separation from my family.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely get that. What's like? Here's an interesting question. What's like the most interesting thing, like fact or statistic or like just thing in general that you've learned from one of your classes so far?
Ooh, I've learned so much about the Bible, but
Mhm.
specifically about the Ten Commandments.
Mm.
How on the two stones, it wasn't probably five commandments on each one, but rather two identical scripts.
Mhm.
Um, as part of this suzerainty treaty, like they would copy two of the same scripts, each on the same stone. So instead of being five commandments and five commandments, it would be all the commandments on one and all the commandments on the other one for God and one for the people.
Wow.
That was so interesting to
Yeah,
me.
that's really interesting,
The
actually.
more you know. That
Yeah.
is very interesting.
Yeah, because I feel like we're always taught like, or at least if you see in pictures, it's like 2 stones and 5
hmm
on each. So that's really interesting.
It actually was not.
Yeah. That's
So, yeah, that was very interesting to me.
nice.
I think what's so interesting about that passage is the fact that Noah broke the tablets.
hmm
No, think about it. These are two tablets of stone, and Noah just broke them.
Mhm.
So I don't know what was going on. Maybe Noah was on some steroids or something. Like Noah must have been working out there. Like
I think it was also because of the anger caused by the disobedience of the Israelites, because during the time period that he broke the stones, it was when they were worshiping the golden image.
yeah,
So I think that definitely had a
there you
Something to
go.
do.
yeah.
That's the message of the day. Work out when you're angry. You'll be stronger.
Okay. So this I feel like is a controversial question, at least between us two. What do you think is the most important thing in college?
What is the most important thing in college? I would definitely say we're coming to college here to get a degree,
Mhm.
and I think education is should be the primary focus of college education. But I also think it's important to create connections while you're here
Mhm.
and relationships with the people you're with here. But I would say the primary focus of college should be
Your academics.
your academics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's pretty good.
I think personally yes. I think academics should be foremost.
Yeah.
The center, getting the grades.
Academics should be foremost, but you should also prioritize creating connections with people around you.
And have you been creating connections?
100%.
Good.
100%. I've had so much fun meeting people. I actually found a newfound passion for talking to people. Like,
Good.
I love talking to people, apparently.
Yeah.
That's a new thing.
Okay. Shout out to everyone who has talked to Camryn so far. She's out and about a good amount.
Yep.
True.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Talk to people.
Yeah.
That's a good piece of wisdom.
Yeah.
A lot of times we text people, we'll call people, but then we'll see them in person and we don't talk to them. And for all of you guys that do that with the girls that you like,
Stop doing that.
I hope that you have a special okay. If you're a Christian, I hope that you get the silver mansion. And if not the gold one. And if you're in hell, you probably deserve to be there.
Okay.
So
Yeah. When you were younger, did you know like exactly what you wanted to be when you grew up?
I thought I did. And I was a little bit accurate when I was younger. I always was sold on being on being a teacher.
Yeah.
and I kind of drifted away from that for a good while. I considered nursing.
Mhm.
I considered teaching again, being a dance studio owner. And then in 10th grade, I had a couple injuries and got interested in PT.
Yeah.
And that's what I was set on for a good little while until my new career path of being a professor.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Why? Because I know I've talked to a couple of my professors about this. Why do you want to teach on the college level as opposed to high school, elementary, middle school?
I like higher level thinking in a certain way. I want to be able to challenge my students to think outside of the box and hear what opinions they have, because since they're in a college campus, I would think they should have their own ideas on certain things, and I want to hear what other people have to say and think and ask bigger questions that require deeper level thinking.
Okay. With that in mind, as I was talking to one of my professors the other day, and he says that while he enjoys discussion, he doesn't necessarily like discussion in the classroom because the people he's teaching are paying to hear him teach and not necessarily to hear what someone else who's the same age doing the exact same on the same level as that person, like they didn't come pay to hear that person talk, they came to hear the professor. So I guess, what do you think about that?
I think, yes, I think listening to your professor is what you are paying for. You are hearing the instruction of your professor. But I also, for me personally, I like discussion within the classroom, because if I have questions about certain things, I like open discussion.
Mhm.
And what I love about my professors is we're a lot like open discussion is a thing. We're allowed
Yeah,
to
yeah.
ask because we have questions on certain topics, and I like not only hearing what they have to say, but also discussion within the classroom about certain topics we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's great.
So a good mix of both.
Mhm.
Hmm.
For sure. Switch gears again. What is your religion, and did you grow up that way?
I am Baptist. I am a grown up Baptist my whole life, grew up the same church,
Mm-hmm.
and I love the Baptist church.
Yeah.
Shout out Baptist.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
Hmm. What is, right, you're Baptist. So I guess, well, first I'll ask, have you thought about like possibly switching denominations at all?
Personally, I have not considered switching denominations before. It's not like it just I like what I've
Yeah.
grown up believing
Oh,
in.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I just don't have any desire to
Yeah.
switch per se.
Mhm.
So,
That makes sense.
yeah.
And what, if any, kind of bias towards being a Baptist? Like, what would you say is like? I don't necessarily want to say better because I don't want to like stir up discord, but like, yeah, like, what do you think is like the reason that you're Baptist and not maybe say like a Protestant or like a sorry a
Like Episcopalian. Or
yeah or Presbyterian or a Catholic?
I think the reason I really like what the Baptist Church believes in is like the importance of baptism after believing in Christ.
Yeah.
Like that's a showing of your faith, not an introduction of your faith in a way. Like
Yeah.
by being baptized, you're not saved. It's after you're baptized, it's a showing of your faith. And I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
like that idea within the Baptist
Yeah.
Church.
Yeah, that's
Showing
great.
that you're truly believe.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm
I like that. What is the craziest church story? Like, say, like you're in church and you passed out, or like you're in church and
Ooh,
what?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly, crazy church story. I don't know if anything too crazy has ever happened
Mm-hmm.
and someone's passed out in church or anything like that.
You're just normal.
I guess.
I will say we didn't go to this church. But we were looking on YouTube for a church to go to in the place that we were moving to, and we were watching this video, and I kid you not, these people, as the choir was singing, there were guys running up and down the pews, like running up and down the aisle, waving their coats in the air. Like, it was the crazy stuff going on at that church. So
Huh.
we decided against it, safe to say. But yeah, I don't know what denomination that is. If you guys know what denomination that is, tell us. The Yeah, because they're running. I guess maybe they're the exercise denomination or
I can't say I have any crazy.
Yeah.
I can't say that I have.
You're just normal.
Nothing like that stood out.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know.
Okay, what is your stance on politics?
My stance on politics. I am a conservative Republican.
So, was that the way that your family grew up, or was it more of like, yeah, I think this is what I want?
I grew up in a Republican family, but I stand by that on my own merit.
Yeah.
Especially now in college, I definitely stand on that. I agree with all the values of being a Republican, so
Yeah.
there's nothing I have against the party at all
Yeah.
that would make me go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking to the same professor, and he was talking about political, I guess, loyalty. And he said that as a Christian, and especially since you're a Christian studies major, I guess it would be nice to hear your weight in on this. But he said that as a Christian, he's not a part of any political party just because his everything that he does in his life is based on Christ, and therefore being a part of a political party that has maybe certain ideologies isn't necessarily not that it's less Christian, but that it's like your first allegiance is to God and not to a political
No,
party.
yeah, I actually really like that. I like that view.
That is
of
a good view.
like not dividing yourself between people, but just being like, look, I am gonna follow Christ, and if you're gonna follow Christ with me, then I love you for that. And if you're not, then I'm gonna still love you. But like, I don't want to divide society any more than it already is. I actually really like that. I like that.
That's a good take. I personally believe in the ideals of the Republican Party, mostly concerning abortion. I'm completely against abortion because we are God's masterpieces. We, at the beginning, like, that is the life in there. And it's value. That's somebody's life. So that's one of my big primary concerns regarding it. But there's also so much more that I just could not agree with. So,
In your life right now, currently, who is the most important person in your life other than God?
after thank God, most important people. Can I say people?
Yeah.
My family. My family. I love my family. My dad and my mom. I talked to them this morning. And then, of course, my older sister and my little brother. They mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
And even my extended family. Like, I love everybody on my family. Shout out my aunts and my grandmother, my granddad. I love them all.
Yeah. You're in college. Call your family.
Yeah.
I have not done that nearly enough. So yeah, call your family.
Yeah, family is so important.
What is your advice for like, say a friendship is breaking up? What's your advice in that?
Advice, friendship breaking up.
Or just like not even necessarily breaking up, but just like relationship advice.
Relationship
Ooh.
conflict.
See,
And
I
not just like friendships as well.
I would say seek the Lord because I know with relationships regarding friendships that have not worked out, like just seeking the Lord and asking Him to like provide friendships that are gonna last because that's what I had to do was ask the Lord to find those people that would stick around and that you can build good connections with. I feel like just seeking the Lord in that process, it's not going to be easy, but that's my only good advice regarding that.
Yeah, I think a lot of times we'll quote these verses like "Be ye not unequally yoked," or "He who sitteth in the seat of mourners," I think it is something like that. But and a lot of times we like to almost put it in the context of like romantic relationships, like keep God first, keep God in the middle. But at the end of the day, it's not just romantic relationships; it's friendships as well, because there's still people like Paul who never was in a romantic relationship. So God still calls us to keep Him at the center of all our relationships, whether they be romantic or not. So yeah, I like that. I like that.
Friendships that are Christ centered are the ones that are going to last. I'll tell you that right now.
Currently, what are your goals in life?
my current goals in life. Well, future goals is to become a professor, maybe work with organizations like Compassion because I have a strong desire for working with missions,
Yeah.
and I love children and just all sorts of different places. Like going and spreading the gospel is one of my biggest passions.
Yeah.
And then also incorporating dance on the mission field because
Yeah.
dance
like
is a
that.
language,
I like that.
and I feel like through dance you can break language barriers.
Yeah.
So that's future goals. Current goals for now is just allow the Lord to work in my life and see how I can build connections with other people and
Mhm.
just learn more about my education, especially being in Christian studies, seeing how the Lord will allow my relationship with Him to grow as long as my, the background of all this cool, like Old Testament or whatever it may be, just learning more about the field that I'm going into is just really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
I've always wanted to tell that to people, is that people say like, oh, reading the Bible is hard. Like, and okay, I mean, we're Baptist, right? We grow up with the KJV. So yeah, Old English is kind of harder to understand. But at the same time, like, even if you're reading like ESV or the NIV, which is a little easier to read, the Bible is pretty cool.
Mhm.
Like, a lot of times we read in the New Testament a lot, but if you read through the Old Testament, there's some pretty cool stuff happening there. So like Moses breaking tablets in half, or I mean, you always go back to this one, but David and Goliath. David literally shooting a stone at a 10-foot giant's head, and he dies, and then he cuts the head off, and the crows eat the head. Like,
That's crazy.
I would even say, like, I grew up with ESV version, so,
okay,
but like, it's still, I know
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
I know what you're saying. Especially now, it's even valuing the books of the Bible that you think are originally hard to read, which I still would consider like, some like Leviticus and Numbers a little bit hard.
Mhm.
But through that, you can see how the covenantal relationship the Lord has created with us
Yeah.
can be obeyed through the law,
yeah,
and that's cool.
yeah,
So even though it may not be as appealing to read as, say, the Gospels or whatever it may be, which are very, very
yeah,
important,
very.
it still has really good parallels to how we're supposed to act in obedience to God.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. So whenever you're reading the so and so begat so and so begat so and so, just know that eventually the so and so means something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sure. Okay, wrapping up. What is your wisdom for the week?
My wisdom for the week: seek God in everything that you do is definitely first and foremost in my life. And I like using this phrase. It says, had an attitude of gratitude.
Mhm.
Elizabeth Elliot said it's easier to be grateful for things you have than to complain about things you don't have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think going into that, just finding joy in the little moments of life through Christ, specifically because He will showcase, if you're looking for, happy little moments, the Lord will show them to you. He will.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful for being on this podcast first and this
Wow.
beautiful day,
Mhm.
and just having sweet friendships that I can talk about the Lord about specifically.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me on
Yeah.
here.
Thank you. It was great. I'm sorry, but I am gonna complain. You know, we have 100 followers on Instagram. I haven't seen 100 views. What's up with that, guys? We're we're out here working hard, and y'all are elsewhere.
But
You can listen to it while you're reading, while you're doing your homework. Like, come on, guys, you gotta get up those numbers up.
or while you're just walking around campus, honestly, that's
Yeah.
what I do with podcasts. I
And
just like
just to give you a little insight, the reason we make it maybe a little bit longer is, and why we only release one episode a week, is so that you don't always have to listen to it in one big chunk. You can break it up through the week, listen to a little bit every day. But yeah, it was great having you on here,
Thanks.
Mrs.
you.
Pittman.
Well, thank you.
We hope to maybe see you again. She, put a little plug here, might be starting her own podcast
In the future.
in the future. So look her
Look
up,
out for her.
That's true.
Mrs. Pittman, the
Yeah.
Pittman Show, something like that.
Something like that.
So yeah, it was great having you, and it's been a great show. Thank you guys.
Until next week.
Until next.